Welcome to Frank and Upfront. I am your host, Mr. Franklin. A very special welcome to all of you who are joining me here on this podcast. I invite you to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and click the notification bell to be notified of uploads. Today's topic: why you shouldn't be too quick to judge others. I have a couple of videos that I'll be responding to that will illustrate the example as to why one ought not to be quick to judge others. Right? This is a response video to a couple of Dhar Mann episodes. Now, the last time I did something similar, I said I would be posting to both YouTube and Instagram. It seems to me that IGTV has a limit on how long your video can be, because I was able to post to YouTube but not to Instagram. So for those of you who are anticipating my posting on Instagram, I apologize. Now, I'm not sure what the limit is. It could be like 15 minutes from what I was told. But I don't think that this video is going to be shorter than 20 minutes or so. So it's probably not going to be posted on Instagram. But there are shorter ones that come in the future that will be posted to both platforms. Looking forward to those when they come out. All right, so let's get into the video. It's a Dhar Mann video, and it tells the life story of a couple of young men who have many challenges along the way, come from humble beginnings, endured many challenges on their way up to the top. And their example illustrates why one ought not be too quick to judge others or to diminish their esteem. But let me stop rambling here and get right into the video, okay?
Hear me? Great job. Lewis, that's the second test you failed this month. What's going on?
Sorry, Miss Wilson.
It's because he's dumb.
Sean, that's not very nice. Well, if you want to graduate, you can't.
People are so nosy. You know you could just leave him alone, right? You could just choose to ignore. You, that kid a while ago, these people always have something to say. Anyhow.
Can't fail any more exams. You understand me? Class, please open your books to lesson 3. Who wants to read? How about Lewis? Well, why don't you read for us?
Can someone else read instead?
I didn't call anyone else. I called on you. Is there a problem?
Yeah, everyone knows that the pea brain can read.
Sean, stop it. Lewis, go ahead.
Okay. Lesson 3.
Synthesize.
Synthesize the car.
I think she called on him to embarrass him and to make fun and to encourage the other students to make fun of Lewis. There are teachers who are like that. This is their little way of blowing the dog whistle, signaling to the bullies in the class that the intended target, or I should say that it is open season on the intended target.
Car.
Lewis, this is not a difficult word. Sound it out.
Ugh, it's content, smart guy.
Sean!
What? Come on, Miss Wilson, he's in the 8th class.
Okay, look at how she's acting all shocked. Oh, Sean, you so terrible. And she knows she's instigating the students to target him. She's declaring open season. I am very familiar with teachers of that kind.
Grade and he can't even read?
Con.
Ugh, it's content, smart guy.
Sean!
What? Come on, Miss Wilson, he's in the 8th grade and he can't even read? Why can't you pick on someone who's not so dumb?
Sean, cut it out. Lewis, I'm worried about you. You're not at the reading level you.
Are you really? You're worried about him? You know you could have called him out. Okay, these people have no poise about them. You could have called him one side and tell him what you want to tell him, as opposed to embarrassing him in front of the class and therefore further diminishing his self-esteem by declaring open season on an innocent student who never saw this coming, never intended to be picked on.
Need to be.
I just mix up my words sometimes.
I'm afraid you don't belong in this class.
You're not helping, teacher. You should have called him one away and tell him what you wanted to tell him instead of diminishing his esteem by embarrassing him in front of the class and encouraging the others to pick on him. You're not helping. Some of these people are distasteful and they don't belong in a classroom.
Come with me.
Have fun in special ed, dummy.
Oh, that was mean. That was real mature. I thought he said he was in the 8th, but then again, what am I saying? 8th grade are the most rambunctious of students. But he probably feel pretty big, right? Prove that you're mature even if you have to fake it, but look at whatever.
Here you are, Lewis. Your new class. Lewis? Hi, I'm Mrs. Green, your new teacher. Nice book. You like Tony Robbins?
Yeah.
You can already tell by the demeanor of Mrs. Green that she is a far kinder teacher than the other lady there. I forgot her name.
My dream is to become a writer and speaker one day. I want to be great, just like him.
Well,
It seems to me that we have similar dreams, Lois. I also dreamt of being a writer and speaker one day. Hold on just a moment for me. I'm going to rewind a little bit. Okay.
You like Tony Robbins?
Yeah. My dream is to become a writer and speaker one day. I want to be great, just like him.
well. If it isn't Lewis and his special ed friends.
You followed him? Jesus Christ, what is wrong with people? Whatever.
All you'll ever grow up to be is a janitor.
Robert, then why don't you? You followed him just to tell him that. It's obvious. You know something? It makes me wonder the kind of challenges that Sean is facing at his home. Those are his insecurities, not Sean's. He's using Sean as a distraction to distract from his own insecurities. Looking for a scapegoat as per usual. These people are very textbook, universal. No matter where you go, you see the same types, the same tactics.
Hey, you get out of here right now, or I'm going to send you to the principal's office. Oh my goodness.
Hey, don't listen to him, okay?
No, he's right. I'm just dumb. I'll never be smart enough to be great like Tony.
No, bro. You see, that's what you just heard is the effect of the diminishing of their esteem that comes from relentless bullying from kids like Sean, for example, and even from home. Even it seems to me like Lewis is repeating what was told to him by somebody, whether at home or at school or even both.
Probably.
Those are not his true. Those words are not Lewis's true feelings. It's he's reciting the inner critic programming that was run on him externally from external sources.
Graduate.
Let me ask you something. What do you think Mr. Robbins would say to that? It says, what?
Oh, he's right. I'm just dumb. I'll never be smart enough to be great like Tony. I probably won't graduate.
Let me ask you something. What do you think Mr. Robbins would say to that?
I don't know.
Well, I know exactly what he would say. Because he wrote it on a picture for me. When I met him. It says, whatever you believe, you can achieve. Signed, Tony.
He really signed that?
Yeah, he did. You know what? Here. Keep it. And if you ever lose belief in yourself, you remember that.
Thanks, Miss Green.
Now that is a teacher. Miss Green is the quintessential teacher that many schools need to save kids like Lewis from teachers who don't care like the other one there, the one whose class he's just coming from. Miss Green is the quintessential ideal teacher. We need more like her in the system.
I'll never forget this.
Oh, and do me one favor. Don't forget to bring me a signed copy of your book when you become best-selling author. Okay?
You see what I mean? Counteracting the programming. That's what she's doing. She's counteracting, reverse programming him, undoing the voice of the inner critic that was ran on him to diminish his esteem. I like the way that she's actually planting seeds of positivity instead. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Let's move on.
I will.
With the help of Miss Green, Lewis finally starts believing in himself for the first time in his life. Over time,
For the first time in his life. So then that would suggest to me that he wasn't getting much encouragement from home either. Perhaps he knows something. I'm wondering if maybe he was a neglected child, neglected even at home, which made him an even easier target because he's out in the world all vulnerable.
Lewis learns how to read and starts doing much better in school. With Mrs. Green's help, he eventually graduates on time and becomes one of the top-ranking students in his school. Several years pass, and Lewis decides to start writing his very first book. He goes around trying to sell his book to strangers. He does this day after day, so excited to get his book out there. That is, until he realizes no one wants to buy it.
Okay. Perseverance is key. Let's continue.
The book was a total failure.
For right now, at least. But the future may say otherwise.
After months of trying and failing, he starts losing belief in himself and decides to give up on his dreams. But then one day, he happens to run into someone that he used to know that would change his life forever.
I don't know what I was thinking. I can't be an author, I'm too dumb. Whatever, Sean was right, I should just go be a janitor.
Watch
Sorry.
where you're going.
Sorry, it's my fault.
Whoa, does she look familiar? Let's continue.
Wait, Lewis? It's Miss Wilson from middle school.
Oh,
I thought she looked familiar. She's Miss Wilson from middle school. And look at the first thing she said. Whoa, watch where you're going. So in her personal life outside of her job, she's not the nicest character out there. She doesn't belong in a classroom. It's just a job to her. She doesn't, in comparing Miss Wilson to Miss Green, she doesn't put nearly as much interest in her job. It's just a paycheck to her.
How have you been?
I've had better days.
What's wrong?
Well, I tried to come.
Okay, that's not. Let me look at her face while I'm saying this so you understand. I want to capture the expression. Hold on.
How have you been?
I've had better days.
What's wrong?
Okay, this look right here is not a look of concern. It's a look of curiosity. Listen to what she says next.
Well, I tried to come out with a book, but it was a total flop. Nobody read it.
Oh, well, I wouldn't beat yourself up too much. I mean, after all, you were in special ed, right?
Oh, wow. Really? Oh, my God. You don't belong in a classroom, Miss Wilson. You're helping to continue to diminish his esteem even in his adult life. What you say matters. One cannot neglect. What you say matters. You can't just talk words and then think, oh, it's no big deal. It will roll off him like water off what does it say? What does it say? Go again. Water off a duck's back. No, words matter. They do matter. You can't be chipping away people's esteem when they're trying to take off the ground. What the hell kind of teacher are you? Hold on.
It was good seeing you.
Like I said before, the expression she had initially is not to be confused with a look of concern, when in fact it is a look of curiosity. Just want to fasten the man's business, find out what he's doing, whether he failed yet or not. People like that, those are your low-key haters.
What am I doing? Like I could be a writer, like I could be anything, like Tony Robbins.
Don't let her get into your head, man. Brush all that stuff off. I know it's hard sometimes. Don't let it get into your head. Gotta keep pushing.
I wish I'd never read this stupid book.
I don't say that.
Whatever you believe, you can achieve. And if you ever lose belief in yourself, you remember that.
That's it. I have to keep believing in myself.
Perseverance is key. Don't stop. Keep going.
I'm not gonna give up.
With newfound motivation and belief, Lewis gets to work on writing a new book. A few years go by, and this time, his second book is a huge success. Lewis becomes one of the best-selling authors in the world. He develops a huge following, creates a top-ranking podcast, and even meets his idol, Tony Robbins. Lewis's work inspires millions of people around the world. And then one day, he decides to go pay a visit to an old friend.
Hey, Miss Green.
Lewis. Oh my goodness. Look at
Miss Green looked like she haven't ate a single day in her life. It seemed to me, let's get a look at her face. It's another look right here. It seems to me that being kind pays off, keeps you well preserved. Miss Wilson, on the other hand, aged terribly but is hiding behind a whole bunch of accessories.
Goodness, look at you. It's so good to see you. What are you doing here?
Well, I wanted to bring you something. It's my new book. I signed it for you.
Oh, Lois, you remembered. I am so proud of you.
Yeah, you see, she's so proud. Her hard work and just being an empathic individual pays off.
Miss Green, I'm starting to sweep the floors.
Sean, perfect timing. You remember Louis House from school?
Hey,
He's a best-selling author now.
is that Sean? Hold on. Hold on, let me see something. Okay, the timestamp is 8:35. I shall remember that. I'm going to go right back to what he said when he was a kid. Where is that now? I want you to listen to something very carefully. Okay, where is that? Don't forget this. Please bear with me. Oh, there it is. Right here.
Just like him.
Well, well, well. If it isn't Lewis and his special ed friends, all you'll ever grow up to be is a janitor.
Oh, is that right? Okay, 8:35. You kind of already knew that already. Anybody who can read context would know that. Would know exactly where I was going with this.
He's a best-selling author now.
Lewis. Wow, I can't believe it's you. Of course, I know who you are. Last time I saw you was...
When you told me all it ever amounted to was being a janitor.
Well.
Look.
If it isn't Sean the janitor. Hey, listen to me very carefully. No shade on janitors. We all got to eat, you know? All got to pay bills. But when you predict somebody's future or think you have the power to anyways, geez, if, you know, it's funny, you deserve to get laughed at if you're the one who actually end up being exactly what you predicted somebody else would be.
I'm sorry about the way that I treated you when we were kids. I was wrong about you. Actually, I listen to your podcast all the time.
Okay, so now you're sorry. You weren't sorry when you know he's a kid, but you know, if you're a rotten piece of shit, come on. If you're in the 8th grade, you're big enough to know better, you just don't care. Now you're sorry? You weren't sorry before, you're only sorry when you see the end result? Sean?
When you told me all it ever amounted to was being a janitor.
Look, I'm sorry about the way that I treated you when we were kids. I was wrong about you. Actually, I listen to your podcast all the time.
Really?
I'm a huge fan.
Oh, thank you.
Can I get one of those?
Did you ever like or follow the podcast? Did you like it? Did you hit the follow button? Do you follow him? Or you simply listen as a silent listener and not make your presence known?
Wanted to.
Yeah. Can you give me some advice?
Sure.
My dream has always been to have my own business one day, but I'm just a janitor, so probably won't happen.
Well, a wise person once told me, whatever you believe, you can achieve. So always remember that.
Proudest moment of her life. She lived long enough to see the day when her own words come to reality.
Probably won't happen.
Well, a wise person once told me, whatever you believe, you can achieve. So always remember that.
Okay, now very briefly, sometimes a special ed student is not necessarily mentally retarded or a dunce, you know. Sometimes we need some encouragement. So you shouldn't write them off and dismiss them. You never know how they'll turn out in life. And you definitely want to be on the right side of history. You don't want to be a villain in their story. Trust me on that. So sometimes all they need to really awaken and break out of it, break out of whatever it is, sometimes all they really need is a little encouragement and motivation and a self-esteem booster. Sometimes it's their environment, sometimes it's their upbringing, sometimes it's peer pressure. You know, sometimes you have to be the catalyst for change and unlock the potential within a young person. If you are a school teacher and someone like, I suppose his name is Lewis Howes, the podcaster. If someone like Lewis comes into your class, this is an opportunity for you to awaken a sleeping king and unlock his mind from the shackles of mental slavery. Let's move on to the next video.
Oh my gosh! Grant! What happened to you?
This is the story of the brilliant author Grant Cardone, who suffered from substance abuse throughout his life until a very interesting turn of events led him on the right path in the right direction.
Grant, are you okay? You've been in there a while.
Yeah, Mom, I'm fine.
Why did you lock the door? I told you not to lock the door. What are you doing in there?
Just give me a sec, okay?
I'm coming in.
Uh-oh. Lack of boundaries. I don't like that. We talk about that ad nauseum on my program. Not looking good. I mean, she means well, as you'll soon see, but it's still a lack of boundaries, though. I have a serious problem with that. It's a real trigger for me.
Mom, you can't just come into my room like this.
Mom, you can't just come into his room like that. You cannot. You know, privacy and all those things. Come on now. Anyway. Plus, he's an adult. He's an adult even though he's being irresponsible, behaving like an adolescent, like he's 14, but you have to respect the boundaries of an adult. Oh, look at that. Barging into his drawer. Look at that.
You're doing drugs?
It's nothing, okay?
It's nothing. You said you quit.
I don't need a lecture right now, Mom. Just give him back.
No.
What are you doing? Stop!
Okay, she means well. She's trying to save her son. I commend her for that. But once again, he's a grown man. It's his choice if he wants to do drugs. It's his will. You know? So, I don't know. Let's keep going.
I can't believe you just did that!
I don't even know who you are anymore. Where is my son? The one who wanted to be somebody, the one who wanted to start his own business and help people. This isn't him.
I told you I'm gonna quit, okay?
I have been trying to help you. If you don't stop, you could end up in jail.
Or worse, sometimes you have to let somebody grow up and help themselves. It has to be their will. But I must reiterate for those who think I'm vilifying her, she means well. She really does. We'll soon find out.
Or worse. Please hear me. You have to go back to rehab.
Rehab? I can't go back there. That counselor, what's his name? Phil? He said I'm never gonna change.
Don't listen to Phil. Phil's an asshole.
Have you changed, Grant?
Sometimes it's people like Bumbleclad Phil who actually enter the people in their headspace and make them have a relapse. You can't have people like Phil working in a rehab center who is going to make people relapse and go right back into their old patterns all over again. Come on now, man.
But
was hard for you when your dad passed away. But
This is where his substance abuse issues started, around the time of his father's passing.
isn't the way.
I don't have time for this, okay? I gotta go.
Okay, right there. Right there, running from himself and self-medicating on illicit substances, narcotics, psychotropics.
There he is. What's up, Danny? What's been up with you?
Danny looks like a real sleazeball. Lost his face alone. Give him away as a real sleazeball. One of those stereotypical white criminal crooked people. Crooked, kind of guys. Anyway, let's continue.
Man, still working on that business and stuff?
Yeah, haven't really gotten around to it yet, but it's gonna be big, real big.
Yeah.
Do not tell people your business. How do you not have the discernment to see that this guy is an obvious sleazeball? You tell him you trust him with your business? Your personal matters?
Anyway, you got the cash?
You got stuff?
Yeah, man. Right back here.
Okay, playing on his desperation. And he just walked blindly into some dark alley to show you how desperate he is. He doesn't even inspect it first, he just walk right in there.
Hey, Danny. Who's this guy?
Look around. Turn around. Desperate. Who's this guy? He's like out of it, and they know that. They're counting on it. Look at this shit.
Stop! Look at you, Grant. You will never change. Never.
You will never change. Never. People like this, can't hang around them. Anybody who's gonna crap on your dreams, any kind of low-key haterism, you can't hang around that when you're going on your way up. What am I saying low-key? He just got this guy jumped low-key. But I guess I guess if he was low-key before, he's not low-key now. The truth is out.
Good luck with your business.
Bad mind. Them people are bad mind. Good luck with their business. So he jump and rob him. He really don't want him to take off the gun after all. He's not going to give him no drugs or anything like that. He kind of conned him, to be honest. Got him jumped. Almost got him killed, to be honest. You told him your business? He doesn't want to see you grow and evolve. He doesn't want to lose a customer. If you get clean, he'll lose a customer, bro. He don't want that. So that's sabotage right here. What we just witnessed right here is sabotage. Because he's bad mind, he doesn't want for you to unlock your greatness, and he feels if he robs you and gets you jumped, you'll never amount to anything. And then he reinforces the internal mental programming, the internal inner critic in your mind that you'll never amount to anything, hoping that you'll internalize it on a deeper level so that then you therefore don't pursue your dreams and passions, and you amount to nothing, just like him and the guy he got to jump you. This is why I'm saying you don't tell people your business. Keep it to yourself. Keep it close to your chest, but the people in these skits tend to be kind of naive to me, if you ask me. Anyhow.
Good luck with your business.
Look at how he said it with such vitriol in his voice, such nastiness, such vitriol, such venom, such acid, the acidity of the look in his eyes and the sound of his voice. You know he doesn't mean you well. How do you lack discernment? And this guy, at the time, he looked like he could have been maybe 30. 30 who grace early in life. Anyway.
was robbed by my own friend.
And you still call him your friend? After all of that, you still call him your friend, huh? Man, oh man.
I told you if you didn't stop, something bad was going to happen to you, and look at you.
It's not a big deal, okay? I just need to borrow some money.
It's not a big deal, bro. You almost died back there. You lucky. All he did was kind of jump you. And he didn't have a weapon or anything that could have maybe hurt you. And it's not a big deal. When you're in that state, the only thing that is a big deal is the substance for which one self-medicates and escape reality. So understand his altered state of thinking.
No, that's it. Enough is enough. Grant, I love you with my whole heart, but this has got to stop.
Mom, I don't need another lecture.
Do you think your father would be proud of you? This is it. You are going back to rehab.
What? Mom, no. Don't do this to me, okay? I don't have anywhere else to go. Please.
Son, I know you can change. There is a greatness inside you.
There is a greatness inside you. His mother sees something that he probably can't see right now. She sees it. The guy who got him jumped sees it. Everybody around town probably sees it. Except for Grant. He's the only one who doesn't see it yet. Even Phil, the guy at the friggin' rehab center, even he sees it. But people, funny how people are, they just don't want you seeing it. If you don't see it, they don't want you seeing it either. But they see it though. But his mother sees it, she loves him with all her heart, and she's about to make the most difficult decision of her life.
But in order to change, you have to change.
Mom, you can't just kick me out.
Go. Just go.
If you kick him out, you put his life in more danger. Or his life being in more danger may be the one boost you need to actually change. Kicking him out may be the best decision, or be the hardest that you have ever made. The thing that will turn his life around forever.
I can't look at you like this anymore.
This is what I mean when I say she means well. She really means well. She really, really means well. She loves him with all her heart. Great mom. But boundary issues though. Anyhow, right about now, he's basically, it's like a Russian roulette game with his life right about now. The streets could either make or break him, so let's find out. Hopefully he made the right decision.
Mr. Cardone. Grant? I thought I'd see you here again. 14 days clean. I didn't think you'd let...
Is Nick the guy they got to play the Phil character? Why do they always typecast Nick as the friggin' sleazy character? Why? But let's find out. Let's just continue.
That's 14 hours, to be honest. Here's your release papers, sign this. You know, everyone here said you're doing real good, but I know you'll be back in rehab real soon.
No, I won't.
Stop downloading your own personal prejudices in the minds of people who need help, Phil, and others like you, and people like Miss Wilson from the Lewis story. Stop doing that.
I know you'll be back in rehab real soon.
No, I won't. You know, I'm gonna start a business. Maybe write a book.
Brethren, stop telling people their business. Them bad mind. Them don't like to hear that. They want you to stay stagnated.
I'm gonna help people.
Okay, where I come from in Jamaica, you don't tell people your business. People bad mind. You keep it close to your chest. Especially when your visa take care of and the still cut out and leave. You keep those things close to your chest.
Help people. Grant, you will never change. Will never change. Will never change.
Son, I know you can change, but in order to change, you have to change.
You know what? I am going to change. Going forward, I'm never going to do another drug in my life.
Okay, what I see here, I see a recurring theme of negative mental programming and positive mental. Okay, let us start over here. I see a recurring theme in these stories of positive reinforcements of mental inner thoughts, kind of battling against and fighting against and counteracting the inner demons of these people who are struggling to get by and need help on their way up, of course. Fighting against the people like Grant's mother and like Mrs. Green from the Lewis story. It's a recurring theme of their voices becoming the inner critic of the protagonist, fighting against the negative voices, the inner demons of those who told you you can't make it. That's what I see happening here. It is a recurring theme. And it's true. I should know.
Yeah, right. Look, the truth is you are a drug addict. You're either gonna wind up dead or back here in rehab. No.
Why I want him down for? It's your opinion. Let him, you believe what you will and keep it to yourself, Phil. And let him believe what he wants to believe and stop trying to push your opinions on other people. Right? Even if you're right, let it play out. Why are you running him down to tell him that for? If you're right, you're right. What is this whole thing about, oh, I gotta remind you of how right I am? Just an ego trip, you know? Ego trip.
I've got big goals. You're going to be asking for my autograph one day. You'll see.
Yes, you will.
No, your only goal should be to stay off of drugs.
People have bad mind. Why are you running him down for? Why are you pushing the issue if you don't understand my slang? Why are you pushing the issue? You can have an opinion and keep it to yourself without trying to become somebody's inner voice. We become people's inner voice when we say things like that.
Grant goes back to his mom's house and is
If he wasn't a strong person, people like Phil and people like his druggy friend would have won and gotten the better of him.
tempted to go back to his old ways. But this time, he finally makes the right decision.
Because of his mom's inner voice in his head telling him that he has a greatness inside of him. That voice overrides all of the negative voices, the inner critics, you know. Love will always prevail and win in the end. Always.
He applied for a job selling cars and pretty quickly became a top car salesman. He sold more cars than anyone else in his company, but that was just the beginning. The new Grant had bigger dreams, 10 times bigger. He started writing books, and over time, Grant became one of the best-selling authors in the world. Grant started speaking to small crowds, and then those small crowds turned into massive crowds. Grant finally was living the life he dreamed of, a life that he knew his dad would be proud of.
Thank you, Dhar Mann. I was about to say as well, the life his father would be so proud of him if he saw him living that life. Best way to honor somebody you miss is to make them proud, you know?
Then one day, he happened to run into Phil.
Mr. Cardone, it's Grant.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember me. I'm Phil, counselor from when you were in rehab.
Yeah, I remember you. You're the guy that said I'd never be anything more than a drug addict.
I really regret saying that. I'm so sorry.
You got one of my...
Now he regrets it. Remind me of a meme I once saw. People don't care about your story until you win, so go win. Even though it sounds kind of careless, but it's true. Now you're sorry? Why are they always sorry in the end? Every single time without fail.
Than a drug addict.
I really regret saying that. I'm so sorry.
You got one of my books?
This? Yeah, it's for my daughter. She's a huge fan. Would you actually mind signing?
Be happy to.
Man, how did you do it? All the books, all the businesses, and helping out all these people.
Took some great advice from a wise woman. She's told me to change, you gotta change. And I just 10x'd it.
Thank you so much.
Who was that, dear?
That was Phil, the counselor from rehab. He's reading one of my books.
Wow. Your dad would be so proud of you.
Okay, welcome back to Frank and Upfront. What we have just witnessed is two amazing, incredible stories on the lives of Lois Howes and Grant Cardone, written and produced by Dhar Mann Studios in Los Angeles. Very telling story on how not to judge people before you get to know them. Most importantly, the moral that I took away from it, or two of them for that matter, moral number one, do not plant your negative thoughts in someone's mind if you don't believe in them. If you don't believe in them, fine, that's your opinion. Keep it to yourself. But don't tear down people based on what you think and force your worldviews upon them. Let them find out for themselves if you're right. You don't have to prove them right. You got nothing to prove to anybody. Words do matter. And when you impose your negative self-views or worldviews on people, those words stick and they become a part of your internal monologue. And sometimes the internal monologue is disguised as the person's own voice and not the voice of the person who said those words. So they think that they're the ones saying it. They become their thought. They think that they're saying it because the inner voice sounds like them. But it's the voice of their critics and not they themselves. So words do matter. And when you take that into consideration, like for example what Lewis said when he said, oh no, I won't be like, I suppose the writer was I can't remember right now. Tony Robbins. The writer was Tony Robbins. When Mrs. Green gave Lewis the Tony Robbins book and he said, no, he's right, I'm just dumb. That wasn't Lewis's internal thoughts. That was a thought of Sean, his classmate, and Mrs. Wilson, the other teacher, and maybe his own parents even, or some extended relative, an aunt, a grandmother, somebody. Right? Those were not his thoughts. He's just repeating and reciting what was told to him. So words matter when you consider that they actually become a part of the background and they blend in with the background to the point where you almost don't recognize them as separate ideas. You think they're your ideas. Words matter, number one. Number two, there must be positive reinforcements to counteract the negative internal thought processes and inner demons, because love will conquer all in the end. The love that the teacher had for her student to give him the Tony Robbins autograph, and the love that Cardone's own mother had for him to actually force him to take risks, hoping he'd make the right decision that would change his life forever. And that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you next time. I am Mr. Franklin, and this has been Frank and Upfront. Good night.